Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I wanted to answer the question, what is Final Fantasy X? This video is aimed at people who know nothing about Final Fantasy X and have always been curious. Hopefully it will serve as a good starter guide for you. So Final Fantasy X was originally developed by Square Enix. It was released for the PlayStation 2. At the time, for PlayStation 2, the graphics were unmatched. They were the best of the best. And it has since been remastered for all the current consoles. It was remastered for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita in 2013, PlayStation 4 2015, Steam Windows for in 2016, and for Nintendo Switch and Xbox One in 2019. So it says the game marks the Final Fantasy series transition from entirely pre-rendered backgrounds to fully three-dimensional areas, and is also the first in the series to feature voice acting, because Final Fantasy 9 and below were PlayStation 1 or earlier, which didn't have the, let's say, capacity to allow those things to happen. So, set in the fantasy world of Spira, a setting influenced by the South Pacific, Thailand, and Japan, the game story revolves around a group of adventurers and their quest to defeat a rampaging monster known as Sin. The player character is Tidus, a star athlete in the fictional sport of Blitzball, who finds himself in Spira after Sin destroyed his home city of Zanakin. Shortly after arriving to Spira, Tidus joins the summoner Yuna on a pilgrimage to destroy Sin. Development of Final Fantasy X began in 1999 with a budget of more than $32 million, which is $49 million by today's standard, and a team of more than 100 developers. The game was the first in the main series not entirely scored by Nobuo Uematsu, and basically the main people who always did the music. It wasn't entirely done by Nobuo Uematsu. Final Fantasy X was both a critical and commercial success, selling over 8 million worldwide units on PlayStation 2. It's considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time. On March 13th, 2003, it was followed by Final Fantasy X Part 2, making it the first Final Fantasy game to have a direct game sequel. Now, my personal experience when playing through this game way back when on PlayStation 2 was I really, really enjoyed the story. And I loved the game, I loved exploring and so on. And having that jump between PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 was incredible. So seeing that graphical leap and bringing it into the world. And given it's a Final Fantasy game, it's full of a deep story. You know, I'll be honest, I cried. I cried at the end. I won't tell you why if you haven't seen it already. And you have all the staples of classic Final Fantasy games, the summons, the turn-based combat, and so on. Now, since then, I think the last time they did turn-based combat was Final Fantasy 13. And since then, Final Fantasy 15 doesn't have turn-based, and then Final Fantasy 7 Remake kind of has a mix of both hack and slash and turn-based, but it's not really turn-based, it's just more like menu selecting, but we covered that in a separate video. Now, what we're going to do, and as I'm always doing with this What Is series, I'm going to link as many useful resources into the description down below, including to the official website, to the Wikipedia, to this trailer, and so on. So this trailer that's playing is a Nintendo Switch remaster trailer. So let's now go and visit the official website, and let's see what's written on there. Okay, so this is the official website at Square Enix Games, link in the description. So it says, Final Fantasy X and X-2 Remaster brings the timeless classics forward to the current generation of fans, old and new alike. Final Fantasy X tells the story of a star Blitzball player, Tidus, who journeys with a young and beautiful summoner named Yuna on her quest to save the world of Spira from an endless cycle of destruction wrought by the colossal menace Sin. Final Fantasy X-2 returns to the world of Spira 2 years after the beginning of the Eternal Calm, having been shown a mysterious but familiar image in a sphere. Yuna becomes a sphere hunter, and along with her companions Riku and Pain, embarks on a quest around the world to find the answers to the mystery within. Fully immerse yourself in the world of Spira as you enjoy your 100 combined hours of gameplay across 2 classic titles. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster is available now on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and Steam. Coming in 2019, the game will be available for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. So, enhanced HD graphics, heroes, villains, monsters, environments, and cutscenes have been given an HD facelift, so you can enjoy these classic games with stunning updated graphics. And then classic and new audio, take your pick, tailor your gameplay, and switch freely between remastered and rearranged or the classic audio from the originals, which is a very typical thing in a lot of remasters these days. Like, you can choose to have the original sounds from the original game or a new version, like more modern version. Over 100 hours of gameplay. Relive all the battles and heartfelt moments of over 100 hours of combined gameplay. So this is something that Tida says right at the beginning of the game. So listen to my story. This may be our last chance. The world lies on the brink of destruction. Only a select few may be able to save it. In ages past, the world of Spira experienced a golden age of perfection, brought about by an advanced civilization through the use of wondrous machinery called Machina. However, around 1,000 years before the present day, a colossal menace known as Sin appeared and sundered all before it. Though a line of summoners has since brought Sin low many times, it inevitably returns in an unending cycle of destruction. In the face of this ever-pervasive threat, the people of Spira flocked to the teaching of Yevon, which tells that Sin is a punishment to those who relied overly on Machina. Tidus is a young Blitzball star that mysteriously finds himself in Spira after his home city of Zanarkand is destroyed by Sin 1,000 years in the past. Believing Sin to be the key to returning home, Tidus joins a young summoner named Yuna on her pilgrimage to destroy Sin and bring about the calm. So yeah, so guys, tell me in those comments down below, what did you think of Final Fantasy X? Did you like it? And so on. And part of my experience as well, I mentioned it in a previous video, is the fact that at the time, God, 2001, how old was I? Like, well, when I was waiting for this game, I was like a teenager. I was like 16 years old. And I was so overly excited. Overly. Like, every minute of every day that passed, I was like, is it out yet? Is it coming out yet? When's it coming out yet? I can't wait. And like, I ended up waiting so long for it to release in the UK that I actually, by the time it came out, I almost didn't care anymore. But when I did actually finally sit down and play the game, I really enjoyed it. So I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending of the first game, but like, for a lot of people, they absolutely loved every second of it, and people still play it to this day. People still speedrun it and so on, even though it's nearly 20 years old at this point. So, if you haven't played Final Fantasy X, it's available on any platform you can imagine, pretty much every platform. I haven't seen any notice of Mac, I guess, but I've seen it on every other platform. So, yeah, if you're looking for something else to try, you could try Final Fantasy X. So I would highly recommend this game, especially if you're into turn-based RPGs. So, as I say, guys, link in the description to all the useful resources. Also, as well, this was almost like a golden age or golden time for Square Enix, because they were unmatched in terms of graphics and like how games looked at the time. And when Final Fantasy 14 1.0 failed, they actually said that mindset that kind of almost started during the Final Fantasy X time carried on with them for many years. So, which led to the colossal failure of 14 1.0. What I'm going to do for the sake of it, I'm going to link NoClip's documentary about the rise and fall of Final Fantasy 14, because you see reference to them talking about that. So, this is a game effectively that started, but now Square Enix is a lot more humble, and they work incredibly hard. They hopefully will never allow that sort of feeling to get to them ever again, because at the time, PlayStation 2 pushed graphical limits very high, which was unheard of at the time, whereas since then, every generation since has only been a small increase, slightly higher resolution, slightly higher frame rate, things like that. Whereas going from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 was an enormous leap. It was a huge leap, especially, for example, at the time we had the Nintendo 64 as well. which was the first time games like Mario went 3D. So, but talking about Final Fantasy X specifically, it's almost like a landmark in the gaming industry in terms of progression from the old to the new, let's say. So, like I said, links in the description, everything that's useful. Let me know your personal experience of Final Fantasy X in the comments down below. And yeah, and we'll see tomorrow what I do for the What Is series. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch around the video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there. Or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.